All right, let's jump right in. We hear all the time about these incredible breakthrough medical treatments, right? But what about the invisible systems that actually make them possible? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful procedures in modern medicine to reveal its real unsung hero.
So first things first, let's set the stage. We're talking about something called hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, or HSCT for short. This is an absolutely life-saving therapy for a whole range of devastating conditions, things like cancers and inherited disorders. For thousands of patients, this isn't just another treatment, it's their best hope, and sometimes it's their only hope.
Now, the field of HSCT has seen just incredible growth and evolution over the years. So the big question is, what's driving all this progress? What's the hidden engine chugging away behind the scenes that lets doctors constantly refine this super complex treatment and, save more and more lives? And here it is. The answer is data management. I know it might not sound as exciting as a new miracle drug, but it is quite literally the backbone of every single quality transplant program in the world. Without it, the whole system just falls apart. So here's how we're going to break it down in this explainer. First, we'll talk about why data is the life-saving backbone. Then we'll meet the architects of that data. After that, we'll see how it all connects into a global health network. We'll look at the amazing discoveries it leads to, and finally, what the data-driven future of medicine really looks like. Okay, let's get into our first section, the life-saving backbone. So what in the world are we actually talking about when we say data management in this kind of setting? At the heart of it all, you have the HSCT database. But listen, this is not just some digital filing cabinet. Think of it more as an active, living system. It's specifically designed to collect the same kind of data in the same way for every patient. Why? So that researchers and doctors can easily spot trends, see patterns, and ultimately figure out what works best. And this is why we call it the backbone. This system is what allows us to see how treatments are evolving in real time and helps hospitals figure out the best ways to do things. But what's really amazing is that these databases can answer questions that traditional clinical trials just can't. Like tracking super rare complications across thousands of patients over many, many years. All right, moving on to section 2. So if data is the backbone, who are the architects? How is all this vital information actually built and managed to make sure it's something we can all trust? It all really comes down to 4 essential pillars. First, you have to have the right people. That means qualified data managers who are total experts in this. Second, you need the right rules. We're talking strict regulations and standards. Then, you need the right tools, like standardized software, so that everyone is speaking the same data language. And finally, the right process, with nonstop quality checks to make sure the data is accurate and trustworthy. Let's just zoom in on that right rules pillar for a second to see how serious this is. This is not a casual thing. Every single program follows strict operating procedures. They're held to incredibly high standards by international bodies. Every database has to get ethical approval. Patient privacy is protected at all costs. And independent boards are constantly monitoring the data for safety. It's a system built on a foundation of trust and rigor. And all that rigor is what allows for our third section, creating a true global health network. This is where we zoom out from a single hospital and see how this data connects experts and saves lives all across the planet. The big vision here is just so powerful. The idea of globalizing all this data isn't some sci-fi dream. It's a realistic, achievable goal. And the purpose is both simple and profound: to improve patient care, get better outcomes, and keep donors safe for every single person, no matter where they happen to live. And here are the major players making this happen. These big international registries are like the hubs of the whole network. You've got organizations like CIBMTR in the US and EBMT in Europe, and they create the framework that allows thousands of different centers to pool their knowledge and learn from each other. This is exactly how a breakthrough in one country can end up helping a patient on the complete other side of the world.
So you might be wondering, does all this standardization and paperwork actually make a difference? Oh yeah, absolutely. Just look at this chart. Research has confirmed that accredited centers, the ones that stick to these strict data standards, show a huge improvement in patient care compared to those that don't. You can see the difference right there. Better data literally leads to better medicine. It's that simple.
Which brings us perfectly to section 4, from data to discoveries.
Let's really connect the dots here and look at the real, tangible, life-saving benefits that come from all this painstaking work.
I mean, the stakes could not be higher when you put it side by side like this. It's night and day. Without high-quality data, treatments just stagnate, risks stay hidden in the shadows, and all that valuable knowledge gets trapped inside individual hospitals. But with quality data, the best practices rise to the top, treatments get safer for patients, innovation speeds up, and a global community can work together to solve the really tough problems. And the discoveries from this kind of global teamwork are just wow. By digging into all this registry data, researchers can see how effective treatments are in the real world, outside of the perfect controlled conditions of a trial. They spot rare long-term complications, make treatments safer for all kinds of different people, and gather critical data in situations where a normal clinical trial would be impossible or even unethical to run.
So that brings us to our final section. The future is data-driven. We've seen how essential data is right now, but what does the road ahead look like? Where do we go from here?
Well, the future of medicine is all about being personal. As we move closer to treatments that are tailored to your unique biology, the need for precise, high-quality data becomes even more critical. Data management is going to be the system that guarantees every single one of these advanced therapies is safe, effective, and perfectly optimized for each and every patient.
And this isn't just a cool idea. It's fast becoming a requirement. The World Health Organization has actually recommended that collecting and analyzing data should be seen as a core part of the therapy itself. It's shifting from something that's nice to have to a fundamental obligation for any center doing these procedures.
Which leaves us with one last, really important thought to chew on. We've seen how data is the backbone of today's best treatments. So as medicine gets smarter and more connected, it begs this powerful question. Could our ability to safely and ethically share all this knowledge be the very key that unlocks the next generation of cures?